I'm Lonelle Madsen, and I'm going to read my script. And you're there. Something I keep seeing in the research and in real people is a very specific kind of damage. Deep thinking, deep feeling, sensitive minds are trying to build lives and businesses on platforms that were never designed for them. And the very traits that should be their advantage, like depth, integrity, and sensitivity, they're the exact traits those platforms quietly exploit. In my work, I call this the digital mismatch, a systemic conflict between how your brain and nervous system are wired and how digital platforms are engineered to extract attention and output. There are two kinds of harms happening at the same time: the part you feel in your body and psychologically, and the economic extraction you usually don't see until much later. So, there's an occupational health crisis. Right now, 57% of Gen Z is entering digital entrepreneurship without a single framework protecting them from this mismatch. Not one. So we license hairdressers, we regulate food safety, and we have OSHA for construction, but we sent millions of people, especially young people, onto digital platforms with no occupational health standards at all. And for deep thinking, deep feeling entrepreneurs, it often shows up like this: identity erosion. You find yourself slowly abandoning your real voice because the algorithm rewards performance over your true presence. Or there's energy bankruptcy. You're exhausted in ways a sleep tracker would never catch, and the harm is happening at a nervous level system, not just in your calendar. And then ethical tech tension, that sharp physical guilt when what you're told you have to do to succeed online just does not match your actual values. These are three of what I call the 6 core devastations, and they're not vague mindsets, they're occupational harms that can be described, measured, and tracked over time. Now, those are 3 out of the 6, and you can explore all 6 in the framework if you want to go deeper. So the second layer is the economic extraction. While all of that is happening in your body and nervous system, there's a second layer almost nobody warns about, and that's that platforms are quietly training on your work, your patterns, your way of thinking, your voice, until the distinct edge that made you different is baked into the machine and fed back to the market without you. So the core devastations are the part you feel. The economic extraction is the part that usually shows up on delay when you realize the system has learned from you, but not for you. So who am I in this? I didn't come to this as a neutral observer. Over about 9 years, I tried to build an online business the way I was told to. I studied funnels and copywriting and ad strategy. I bought into dozens of programs and frameworks. I burned over $100,000. And in terms of actual business income, I made $27. I used to think that meant I was a problem. But eventually I realized, I'm not defective. The system is. Or at least it was never built for people wired like me. But that realization sent me down the largest, deepest rabbit hole I could have ever not seen coming. So out of that research came the digital depth economy, and it's DDE for short. Digital depth economy is the occupational health framework that measures and rehabilitates the harms of platform dependency for deep thinking, deep feeling digital entrepreneurs. In practical terms, that means we don't just name the pain, we measure it. We don't just say burnout and overwhelm. We track specific patterns over time and design ways to prevent collapse or help people rebuild. Almost done. So why this matters across generations? This isn't just about Gen Z. It's a 22-year-old creator whose entire identity is now tied to a feed. It's a 35-year-old coach trying to move their practice online and feeling like they're failing. It's a 52-year-old entrepreneur rebuilding after a second or third burnout already. The problem doesn't care how old you are, it cares how often you're exposed and how your brain and nervous system work. So, if you recognize any of those 6 devastations in yourself or in the young people you love, you're not alone. And this isn't personal failure, this is occupational injury. Start by taking the digital readiness assessment. It's free and it will help you see where you are in relation to those devastations and whether the digital depth economy is the right framework for you and to support you. Welcome to the digital depth economy.